Minneapolis to Dublin, Delta One Business Class. Hi, I'm Lori, a senior solo traveler, and I recently flew from Minneapolis to Dublin on Delta Airlines in its Delta One Business Class. The plane was an Airbus A330-200, which is one of the older planes in Delta's fleet. I was able to book this flight using an upgrade certificate, which saved me money. See the link in the description below for information on these upgrade certificates. This will be a very brief overview of the flight experience. I arrived in Minneapolis on a flight from Phoenix and only had a 90-minute layover. I had to go to another terminal and the airport is quite large, so I was only able to spend maybe 10 minutes in the Delta Sky Club lounge before I had to leave. The lounge had 2 levels. Above was the buffet, which had a few stations of food, such as soup, salad, sandwiches, entrees, and dessert. There was a long bar as well as a self-serve refreshment stand. Near the entrance was a lemonade stand with various flavorings. I thought that was a fun idea. There were a few places to sit on this level, but most of the seating was on the lower level, which was pretty crowded. There were many comfy seats, and each one seemed to have its own electrical outlet. Towards the back of the lower level was an office area with individual stations and a printer. So the lounge was pretty full, but it was certainly a nice reprieve from the gate area. From the lounge, I had a bit of a hike to get to my gate, so I'm glad I didn't linger in the lounge. I arrived about 5 minutes before boarding, and the gate area was crowded. However, boarding went quite smoothly, and we were on the plane in no time. Now let's talk about the Delta One cabin. The Airbus A330-200 is set up in a 1-to-1 herringbone layout, which doesn't give you as much privacy as the newer designs, but still provides you with the desirable lie-flat seat and business class amenities. When you enter the business class cabin, your seat looks like this, with slippers, a rolled pad to lay on top of the bed, and a bag that contains a pillow and quilted blanket. There is an amenity kit and water bottle on the side table, and headphones hanging on a hook. The overhead bin space was somewhat small compared to the newer planes. I had to turn my standard size carry-on sideways in order for it to fit. Above the side table are a universal outlet, 1 USB port, and the headphone jack. In front of you is a panel with the seat controls, a tethered remote control, and a button to release the entertainment screen. My screen didn't pop out like it was supposed to, so I had to manually pull it forward. In later versions of the Delta One suites, they have done away with the swing-out TVs and remotes, which never seemed to work very well. Neither the remote or the screen were very responsive, but I managed well enough. The good news is that Delta has a great selection of entertainment options, including movies, TV shows, music, podcasts, and a kids section. You can also access flight information from the screen. The tray table emerges from the side table. You have to push a button to release it, and then it pulls out and unfolds. It also slides slightly forward and back. On the aisle side is an armrest that is pushed down for takeoff and landing, but slides up for use during flight. The amenity kit came in a nice Masani cosmetic bag. It included socks, a sleep mask, a toothbrush, toothpaste, hand cream, lip balm, earplugs, and a pen. I liked the cosmetic bag it came in and will use it again. The toilet room was quite small with no extra amenities except soap and lotion. Before the flight attendants passed out orange juice or champagne. Delta Airlines sends an email a few days before a flight allowing you to pre-order your meals, so they only issued menus for people who had not pre-selected. The 6:25 p.m. flight left at 6:31, so almost on time. Once up in the air, they began meal service with drinks and nuts. I asked to have everything delivered at once so that I could get some sleep. My meal arrived fairly quickly. It consisted of meatballs with ricotta cheese, garlic bread, soup, salad, a bread roll, and shrimp for an appetizer. Everything was tasty enough. Nothing exceptional, but nothing bad. My only complaint was that they put the garlic bread in the dish, so it became very soggy. After I finished my meal, I was given the choice of 2 dessert options or a fruit and cheese plate. I chose the lemon tart, which was yummy. After dinner was cleared, I extended the seat into a bed. I love that they gave a cushioned pad to lay down on top of the seat. The quilt blanket was nice and wide. I'm 5'5", and when lying flat, I had about a foot of space below my feet. In this design, the feet narrow into a triangle, which isn't ideal, but you can still stretch out. The bed was somewhat narrow, but I'm a side sleeper, so I managed to get comfortable. They turned the lights low for the meal service and off throughout the rest of the flight, so you had to use your individual lights if you wanted to see anything within your cubicle. The service throughout the flight was excellent. Both flight attendants were exceptionally friendly and helpful. A little over an hour before landing, they served breakfast. I had a choice between a cheesy pudding and some flavored croissants. I chose the croissants, which came with some fruit. So that's it. It was an uneventful and very comfortable trip. I do like Delta, which is one of my favorite airlines, so would certainly fly them again, especially if I could use an upgrade certificate, which kept the cost reasonable. I hope that Delta eventually retires the seat design, as it isn't as nice as their newer ones. However, I still enjoyed the comfort and service in the Delta One cabin. As always, if you have questions, feel free to ask in the comments section, and please check out the Senior Solo Travel website and Facebook forum where you can interact with other travelers. I have left links in the description below. And if you'd like to follow my senior and solo travel journeys, please like and subscribe. Cheers!